Okay, today's page of notes titled The Stirring of Rebellion. Remember yesterday we looked at the first acts, laws, taxes put in place by the British after the French and Indian War. Remember, the British are now have accrued a large amount of debt after the French and Indian War, protecting the colonists and their interests as well. So today we're going to be looking at more taxes and the more violent rebellion of the colonists. The first thing to look at today here is the Stamp Act. Parliament passes the Stamp Act without any votes from any colonists, which placed a direct tax on the colonists, and it required a stamp on all legal document, newspaper, license, and cards. We do this every day now and don't think twice about it. But two things: one, it had never been done before, so this is a new tax, and two, without that representation in Parliament, the colonists feel like they don't have a voice in this. The Quartering Act, the next act to be passed. Now remember, there are a great deal of soldiers in the colonies, mainly to protect the colonists. And England passes the Quartering Act, which forces the colonists to house British soldiers in their homes, feed them, if these British soldiers need a place to stay. So something else that we're going to look at when we write the Constitution, this is our third amendment to the Constitution: no forced quartering of soldiers. So we make sure that when we write the Constitution that this is never going to happen again. One of the first resistance groups that springs up is the Sons of Liberty, based out of Boston, which is kind of the hub of everything happening in the colonies at that point in time. The largest port at that point in time, so a lot of ships coming in and out with a lot of information from England, a lot of information going back to England from Boston. Lots of people, lots of chatter, gossip, and lots of debate on whether the colonists should declare their independence. Samuel Adams and John Adams being two of the largest members of the Sons of Liberty. This is a group who went around and basically tried to make people aware of the different unjust taxes that they felt England was passing on them, and they also harassed the English tax agents. And their battle cry is going to be no taxation without representation, which is coined by James Otis, we talked about yesterday. The Sons of Liberty they're going to organize protests against businesses that are loyal to England. They're going to organize boycotts against businesses that are loyal to England, or against England, English goods coming to America in general. The next tax to be passed is the Townshend Act, which is a tax on imports such as tea, glass, paper, and paint. Now, the big thing here is tea, which is the favorite drink of the colonists at the time. So this tax here kind of hits them hard. The colonists again react with more protests. It hasn't gotten violent yet, but it is on the verge of becoming violent. So how do the British react? They react by sending more troops, and this in turn raises the level of anxiety between the two groups. The next event to talk about is the Boston Massacre in 1770. Happens outside in the streets of Boston. A group of probably drunk colonists are yelling, cussing, yelling obscenities at the soldiers, throwing snowballs at the soldiers. Not exactly the defenseless group that you see on the picture on your left. A shot goes off somewhere. Nobody knows where. The British soldiers are scared, believe it is the colonists firing on them, and they fire into the crowd of colonists, killing 5 colonists. One of those 5 being Crispus Attucks, who was a freed African American. We will talk about the picture to your left a little more after notes are over. Most of the soldiers are found not guilty. John Adams, who, remember, is a member of the Sons of Liberty, serves as the attorney for the soldiers. He does believe in independence and liberty, but he also believes in justice as well. And I believe all but one of the soldiers is found not guilty. We will talk about the picture to your left being a little bit of colonist propaganda, as we don't believe that the soldiers were as defenseless as the picture makes out, nor are the British soldiers as ruthless as this picture makes out either. The Boston Tea Party. The colonists are very upset with the monopoly that the Boston Tea Company has on tea, meaning that you could only buy tea from the British company. So therefore they could do whatever they wanted to with the price. December 1773, colonists raid the Boston harbor, threw all the tea overboard, and burned the ships dressed as Indians. Dumped approximately 18,000 pounds of tea into the harbor in protest of the tax and monopoly on the tea. Now, this is going to set off a string of events afterwards that lead us very close to war between the two sides. The Intolerable Acts, as they are known by the colonists, they are called the Coercive Acts by the British, are passed in reaction to the Boston Tea Party. They closed the Boston harbor because the colonists wouldn't pay for the damages to the tea and the ships that they burned. They suspend basic civil rights in Boston and basically closed down the Boston harbor. Now, a big part of this is also a large economic area in Boston. A lot of people depend on the harbor for jobs. So this is hurting a lot of people in their pocketbook, where it hurts the most, by not being able to go to work. At this point in time, the colonists start to communicate together from different colonies, and they create the Committee of Correspondence, which was set up to help the separate colonies communicate about what was going on in each individual colony, and maybe any ideas or plans that may happen in the future between the colonies, any type of work that they may could do together. So they are going to start to band together, even though they did not pass the Albany Plan, which we talked about yesterday.